football. We had a bye week. We're the number 5 team. It looks like bye weeks, provide good news for us because last bye week we moved from 2-1. Now we're 6-5, which is nice. Obviously, that comes from Penn State losing to Ohio State, like you said, who we knew were frauds. Miami looked really good. Jumped us up to 4. They didn't look good actually up till the third quarter, and then our boy Malik Murphy couldn't stop throwing picks, and basically let Miami crawl back into the game. But I was looking at a scenario, regarding the SEC that I sent over to you guys, and there's a world where there could be an 8-way tie for first place in the SEC. So this is how it stands basically. If Texas loses to Florida, Georgia loses to Ole Miss, LSU loses to Bama, Tennessee loses to Georgia, and A&M loses to Texas, obviously in the last game of the season, the regular season would end with Bama, Georgia, LSU, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Texas, and Texas A&M in an 8-way tie for first place of the SEC, which would result in a Bama versus LSU SEC championship game. Obviously, that's a lot of stuff for to unfold for that to happen. Like that's pretty much hitting an 8-leg parlay, but ultimately that just kind of shows right now how wide open this race is for the SEC and for getting your automatic bid to the college football playoff. It's not a walk-in for anyone right now because, as we've seen, anyone can beat anyone. I mean, Florida was playing a pretty close game against Georgia last week, and then obviously Georgia pulled away, but regardless, like we've seen these games happen, and we played a close one against Vanderbilt. Like we can't take anything lightly from here on out. It just can't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of in a position where you control your own destiny. Like
if we went out, we're fine.
Like Arkansas, I'm not. None of these teams are walkovers. Let me just preface what I'm about to say with that. Arkansas looked absolutely trash against Ole Miss. Florida's best player not playing probably, right? A&M did not look good. They underwhelmed against South Carolina. They came out absolutely flat. Kentucky's had that game against Georgia and a game against Ole Miss and has since gone quiet. If you are the Texas Longhorns and you see all these other matchups in the SEC and you believe you are a championship team, that Georgia loss and that weird game against Vandy, I guess we can chalk it up as, have to be in the rear view mirror after this bye, and then you have to get on a roll. Quinn has to be healthy, ready to go. Makuba has to be in, ready to go. And then you just have to steamroll these teams and control your own destiny because it just doesn't go in the SEC like you're saying. There are a lot of teams in college football, if you go across the board, there's a lot of games and wild scenarios that can happen. And a lot of teams in front of us and around us that can fall off the wagon. Miami, we keep bringing up as a team that just keeps kind of almost skating by and has a not that great of a defense. The SMU Mustangs are back, and they might have to see them in the ACC championship, and they're a dangerous team. They handled Pitt like nobody's business. Like there are teams around us, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, like there are teams around us that can tear each other apart just outside the SEC. So if we take care of business and hopefully we see Georgia again, because I think that'd be the ideal matchup. Yes, maybe not from like a advantage or a favorite or a winning standpoint, but to prove our stamp and get another lick at them.
If you can't beat them, then you don't deserve to win the national championship. That's just plain and simple.
100%. And the way Carson Beck has been playing this season, like he has lost an insane amount of cash.
Yeah.
That has to be the team we want. Quite frankly, like I would rather see Georgia again because at least we have tape on them. At least we could look at our mistakes and we know what they are. Then like another one of these teams. LSU, we'll see how they are this weekend against Bama. Bama, we'll see how they are against LSU. I mean, both those teams can like Bama at full go, full tilt, what they did against Georgia in the first half with a running quarterback, that's scary. If LSU was what they are in the first half against A&M, again, they had to put 2 complete games together. Those are scary opponents. Tennessee's defense is ferocious. It's on the same caliber, in my opinion, as Georgia's, or at least close to it. Like there is a lot of competition in the SEC, and all we can do is hope we take care of business and hope Georgia takes care of business and we get to see them again, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm with you on that. I'd much rather see Georgia again than try to see Bama or LSU just based off of trying to get the monkey off our back and trying to basically prove the haters wrong. Because, like, like I just said, like, if you want to win the national championship, like, there needs to be no doubt left in the people's minds, the committee, the fans, the other coaches, the players. Like, you need to, reconcile that win or that loss that you had at home. And so the only way to do that is to face them in that SEC championship game and beat them and then earn your right to go. So, I mean, if you can't beat them, then you're not winning the Natty. That's just plain and
No.
simple, because then they're
Well,
the
but
ones that deserve to win the Natty.
wait, but what if they're not in the SEC championship, but we are? That changes things, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're just saying ideally we'd want to face them.
I like
that's
it.
what we-
I like the revenge factor,
think
but it's like, to me, it's ultimately like we win the SEC championship. I don't really care who we play.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I know, but I mean, I think that
I do.
even if they don't make that SEC championship game, they're probably still getting a bid to the playoff,
for sure.
an at-large bid. And so eventually, I feel like we would have to see them at some point.
We'll
Okay.
see.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. And in that scenario, we may have to play them. We may not, right? That's the interesting thing about the new playoff is that you just because multiple SEC teams are getting to the college football playoff doesn't mean that you'd end up playing them if they lose to another team or if you lose. Yeah, I mean, likely we take care of business and hopefully we can get to the SEC championship. We take care of business and we don't get to the SEC championship because of that crazy scenario that you laid out. We're still an at-large bid, in my opinion. We lose one more game, that's where it starts to get really, really dicey. Because at that point, we're likely not making the SEC championship, like high percentage not making the SEC championship, and then we don't have an extra game to prove to the committee that we belong.
And it's a bad loss, unless it's A&M, I'll say.
Well, let's say A&M. Yeah, because Florida no longer has Lagway, so they're playing a third string QB.
I mean,
who
even if
was,
we
was
lose
it?
to A&M, like, that's a bad loss for us personally too.
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
that's
We can't lose.
But is the expectation that Green is going to play against us as of now? I know this is 2 weeks out, but he got hurt too. You didn't mention that, but he got hurt in that game. That's part of the reason why they looked so bad, since their starting quarterback went out. And obviously
we're
talking about Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, A&M's on Marcel Reed too. Like, they're all on different quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, if you list the quarterbacks that we've had to face, and now acknowledging how bad Carson Beck has been this season, like, we haven't had many challenges from opposing quarterbacks. Truly,
Probably
like,
our biggest challenge last week.
Yeah,
Where is that big of a
the
challenge this year, though? Who is that big of a challenge? Cam Ward?
Yeah, it's a big challenge.
That's it, though.
Challenge, I feel like
Jalen Milroe. I think Milroe.
Yeah.
But
like,
Howard,
I don't know, man. There's been like other quarterbacks that are on lesser teams that are more of a challenge.
I think like they're not. I think
what's that kid's name on Washington State? That guy's a baller. Like,
yeah. I think in years past there was more of challenges. To be honest, for me,
yep.
This is not the cream of the crop quarterback class. We all know that.
No, I think that's part of the reason why there's been so much chaos. I mean, Carson Beck, like, at least if we know we're playing him, he's going to throw 2 picks. So we have an opportunity that we wouldn't necessarily have if we're playing a guy like Diego Pavia.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to preview it in a couple of days with our boy Q. So get your horns up.
Hook 'em.
Horns up, guys. We'll see you guys next time. We out here. We love you.